Hey, um, welcome back. And today's video is gonna be an interesting one. Um, the reason I made this video is because of a certain video I saw on TikTok by a certain gentleman, a certain young gentleman who I really love and adore. By the way, I can't remember his name, but his channel is called the School of Hard Knocks. School of Hard Knocks, if I'm correct, yeah. And so, what he usually does is he usually goes around interviewing the ultra wealthy, the ultra rich. We're talking billionaires, we're talking multi-millionaires, we're talking men and women who are in the top of their respective fields. And so it's he has content I really like, I really love watching. But there's this particular video that I saw, I think 2 days ago, and in this specific video he was interviewing Jake Paul. And so I'm pretty sure everybody knows Jake Paul, and there's something he asked him that was really interesting. So he asked Jake Paul at what age Jake Paul became a millionaire. That's what he asked Jake Paul. And Jake Paul, I can clearly remember he said 21. And so I'm not even interested in talking about Jake Paul or whatever, but he said that he became a millionaire at 21. And so it really made me think, because I'm in my 20s and I'm nowhere near making $1 million. And I can imagine this is a video that so many us young people watched. And of course, it doesn't mean that we all give ourselves pressure, but you can only imagine, let's say 100 years ago, a 20-year-old would never, the chances of you seeing another 20-year-old who is extremely successful was almost impossible. There was no social media, there was no internet, there's not much connectivity as it is today. And so it made me think about what being in our 20s, what me being in my 20s has been like, and what I've been observing, especially for people in my generation. Because I am 100% sure a 20-year-old 100 years ago would never find himself or herself watching a video where there's somebody saying that I made $1 million when I was at your age. And so it brings me to the topic. It's not a topic where I'm talking specifically about something. I think it's just some thoughts I have had, and I'm not even sure what to title this video, and I haven't even written a script. I'm just trying to open up. And so it made me think about the experience of being in my 20s and the kind of position we usually I find myself in at my age, because we're in a very interesting place where the people who are older than us, who are telling us so many things, who are trying to guide us, who are trying to, with completely good intentions, who are trying to help us figure out ourselves. And at the same time, we're still old enough such that we are somewhat expected to know what to do, though not exactly, but kind of. And I want to start by talking about this thing where when we're usually told that when we're young we shouldn't, at least I've heard that we shouldn't work too hard and we should enjoy ourselves, which is something I completely agree. But I had to ask myself, what does enjoying my 20s even feel like? And you cannot compare my 20s versus people who are 20 years old in the 60s. I can imagine the cost of living. I can imagine everything was just different. And so what does it mean when we are being told to enjoy our 20s? And also, what does it mean when they tell us to work, not to work too hard? What does not working too hard even mean? And so that's the first thing I was asking myself. Because are they opposites, or can it depend? Because we're also supposed to work, because we're at an age where we need to set ourselves up, or we're trying to set ourselves up for the future, which we hope will be better. And so I was trying to ask myself, because I know people who are my age and who really work hard and who really push themselves. And I had to ask myself, are they not enjoying the 20s? And I just believe, I think, I may be wrong, but I think those two don't have to be two separate things. I think we're at a point where we are lucky that we haven't. Okay, I haven't. I'm not sure about anybody else, but I know most of people at my age haven't really figured out who they are. It's just trying to see what works. I mean, if you're honest, if we look back even in university, usually when we joined university, we thought we knew. For those who thought we knew what they wanted to do, but you come to realize you really didn't know why you're doing what you're doing right now. But for everybody else, for those who had no idea, they were just honest with themselves from the get-go that they don't know what they're doing. And so I think on one end, we as young people are put in a very weird place, especially at this current age of time, because it now brings me back to the video I saw a few days ago. So you can imagine you're trying to make sense of your life, and then you see that there's somebody who, how can I say this? Of course, financial financial success, I don't have a better word to put it, but having your finances sorted is one of the things everybody wants to achieve. And seeing somebody having achieved it, and to such a great extent at such a young age, really kind of puts us in this weird place of, you want to give yourself a chance, an opportunity to give yourself time to grow, but they're like people, and it's rare. It's rare. Jake Paul making $1 million at 21 is not normal, and he probably would say the same. He would say that he is extremely lucky, and that circumstances are. He wasn't targeting $1 million at 21. It just happened to him. But for us, it's like it has happened. You can say luck, you can say hard work, but it's something that can happen, and it hasn't happened to me. And so it's just crazy when you think about things like that. And it also made me think about how lucky we are to be young. I look at the faces of people around me who are older, and you can tell that they missed their youth. Of course, it's not that they're not happy. I'm not saying the people around me are happy. No, they're really happy. But it's like they're like, being young is amazing because you can just do crazy things. And that brings me to the next thing I was thinking about, doing crazy things. One thing I love about being at my age is that I can actually start things, and I'm not really afraid of failing, because it doesn't really cost me much. Of course, I'm not doing things because I want to fail. I want to succeed in everything that I do. But at least I know I can do it now when there's nothing. I'm only responsible for myself and not for anybody else. An advantage is that generally society doesn't really expect too much. Of course, it expects a lot, but it's not too much. And I was trying to tie that with not, the whole enjoying your 20s and not working too hard. And I'm like, we are really strong. Why can't we just do both? Why can't we just enjoy our 20s and still work to improve ourselves? And I can't think of another time where we will be as energetic as right now. I can't think of another time where I'll be as strong as now. And it's not even physically strong, mentally strong. I'm in a position where I can take failures after failures after failures. And I won't feel great, of course, but I know that I can do it. I have that mental fortitude. I can say that we as young people are kind of delusional. We just still believe in ourselves, We still have a future we're looking forward to, so we can try again and again and again. And that's one thing I always tell my friends. I'm telling them, if we don't do these crazy things now, when can we do them? And I can imagine if you're gonna drink, you should do so. If you want to spend your time drinking, do so. If you wanna go traveling, and you can do so. If you wanna start business, if you wanna try a new sport, if you wanna quit school. And it sounds insane, but the only time we can do this is now, when I'm young. And excuse me, I have a sore throat, so as I was saying, being in our position, being at my age is extremely confusing, but extremely amazing at the same time. And we are in a position where we, to a great extent, have greater control of the direction we want to take our lives. And I think that's a gift. And I think we should take advantage. We should use this gift we've been given, because it won't stay with us forever. Years will pass. Someday I'll be looking at this video and I'm 60 years old, hopefully. And I want to look back at this stage of life when I'm old and say, I can't regret many other things, but I can say that I tried, and that's a better regret than regretting that I didn't try. And so I keep on saying this time and time and again, I am continue making videos knowing full well that I'm talking to myself, because I can spend this time, I can spend this energy, I can be patient, I am literally afforded time. And I genuinely believe that it cannot be easy, but this whole, let's say, don't work too hard and enjoy ourselves, I don't think at our age we have to choose. I think we are lucky enough that we can do all, and we have that energy, and we have that grit, and we have that mental fortitude. And the beauty is that we are also delusional. And let's be honest, we're all delusional. We all believe we can become super rich and physically elite, and can have our finances in check, our spiritual aspect of lives will be checked. And I'm glad. And that's really just the gist of what I wanted to talk about. So I don't really know what I'm talking about per se, but it's just those thoughts you have when you're by yourself. And I decided why not just talk about those thoughts which don't really have a beginning or an end. And so, yeah, I think in conclusion, I genuinely believe that we are, it's a mixed bag. We are so lucky that we're in this stage in humanity where there's connectivity and there's opportunities from all over the world that we as young people can take advantage of. There's so much information that is so easily accessible in regards to everything and anything, and it's literally free, and there are so many ways to achieve your goals, let's say financially or be spiritually, physically. There's so many people out there who have documented clearly step by step how to improve. And I can focus on saying, okay, maybe in 1926 those people had it better because the cost of living was much better at the time. Obviously things were cheaper, but they didn't have the same connectivity that we did. And so still on the other end, back to what I was saying, still are in a position whereby due to this connectivity we are also able to see those 1 in a million kinds of possibilities occurring in other younger people. I don't think I'm supposed to see somebody telling me that they're making $1 million at 21. You're not even supposed to make normally, and I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't strive to, but that's not normal. Even at 30, that's not normal. Even at 40, that's not normal. And there's so many things that are shown to us, because social media doesn't really show the average, it shows the top. And usually I think it affects us subconsciously. If we're really honest with ourselves, I think there's this pressure we give ourselves due to this connectivity. You know, we are telling ourselves that, okay, I understand you're successful, I would like to reach the same point, but then it brings us pressure because we weren't supposed to see that. It's not normal. You know, people who have got to that point try to tell us it's not normal, but we see, and once you see, you cannot unsee. And so I think it's just a mixed bag, and it's up to the individual to take the best out of each, to take what matters from life, and to use these opportunities we have to our fullest. And so I'm gonna say this again, I think if you're watching this video and you're young, just go try stuff, go try businesses, watch them fail, go try play an instrument. Do you love your the let's say course you're studying in uni? Do you like it? You know you can drop, and of course I'm really oversimplifying, and it's not as easy as I'm saying, but if we need to remember that it's not gonna be easier later on, and so why not do it now if you're gonna do it? And I think we're gonna be confused and we're gonna be delusional, and that's okay. So go try things. You only get this opportunity once. Go work hard as you can, and go enjoy yourself, of course safely, but also as hard as you can. I don't want to tell myself that I have to choose between the two. Maybe I'm a bad man, maybe I might be wrong, maybe I'll look back at this video and say, what is this kid saying? But I do believe that right now, and that's what I'm going to do. And I think we all should. yeah, I think that's I think that's the conclusion, the actual conclusion. Uh, for those who see this video at some point in their lives, at any age, if you see it when you're young, if you see it when you're older, what do you think? What were Have you ever sat down and asked yourself how your 20s has been, and just really just look at it, as a third person, just look at how your 20s had been or are, and what do you think are what do you think are the things you've noticed? What are the lessons you've learned? And what are stuff you're still not sure? I'd be really interested to know. Yeah, so see you guys in the next one.